How many of y'all have ever been fishing? Right. Did you enjoy your fishing trip? It's okay to speak. I know this is Seacoast, but I'm a black man. I got to have some feedback, okay? So you got to say amen, clap, or just shake your head, okay? I can't see you, so if you're shaking your head, you got to speak. Did y'all enjoy your fishing trip? Even the doctor, you enjoyed your fishing trip? That makes two of us. Well, a good friend of mine, a guy named Joe Stringer, he said he was a good fisherman. But he never talked about fishing. He didn't walk like a good fisherman. I did not believe he could fish. But Joe told me he was a good fisherman. So he said, come on, Tim, let's get on the boat and go fishing. I said, I don't want to go fishing. I don't want to go fishing. He says, let's go fishing. I said, I don't want to go fishing. He says, get on the boat. You'll have a great time. Well, sure enough, I got on the boat. And we were fishing. And Joe was catching fish. And I'm like, pretty good. Joe's bringing a fish in. He'd stick it into the cooler. He'd bring another fish in for 20 or 30 minutes. Joe caught everything that was moving in the water. I caught nothing sitting on the side of the boat. And then the next 30 minutes, Joe started catching big. Ooh, y'all are still awake. This is great. He'd catch a big fish, bring it in. He'd look at it. He'd throw it back in the water. I agree. He'd catch another. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, come on, Tim, help me. Finally, being the slow politician that I am, I'd ask the question, why are you throwing back the big fish? He says, I hate throwing back the big fish. I hate throwing back the big fish. I said, well, why are you throwing back the big fish? He says, I hate it. I said, don't tell me that you hate it. Tell me why. He says, I hate it. He said, let me just show you. So he reaches underneath the seat of the boat, and he says, because my frying pan is too small. Now, let me ask you a question. Yeah, it's cheap humor, but you do what you got to do sometimes. All right? Just amen. Thank you. Here's the question of the evening. How many of us have a dream that we believe that God has woven into who we are, but our perspective of what we can accomplish is too small for God's amazingly big dream?